So I last week, you guys, we did Microcosmic Orbit, right? So my goal in this series is to offer to you guys a set of practices that you can put in your toolkit. Okay, Kim, I know you're familiar with Microcosmic Orbit. Yeah. So we'll probably come back to that, right? Because doing it just once is doing it just once. And then I would like to share, we did cloud hands, so I want to come back to that. I'm curious about people's, yeah, you like cloud hands. I'm curious about people's energy levels. Heather and I were just talking before you guys got on about there's a lot going on. There's so much going on, and Uganda right now is like, I'm scared for my people, not just my people, but for that country. So I'm working with moving that energy through me. So just kind of, if you don't mind, like just give me a one word of like where you're at so I can best know how to offer to you guys, if that is cool with you.
Depleted.
Heather, why don't you start? Depleted. Okay. Okay, that's helpful, Kim. Okay.
Yeah. I would say heavy. I feel heavy.
Okay. Depleted, heavy. Okay.
Not grounded.
Not grounded. Not grounded. Okay. Okay. Noga.
I feel good right now.
Oh, that's good. I can rejoice in that. I'm like, thank somebody does. I felt last night, I was working out in the gym yesterday for 3 hours and I was so happy. So, and Judy, how are you? Nice to meet you. You're in space.
Hi. I went to your last class last week.
Nice.
So just a couple of things. I felt kind of energized actually after your last class, but of course everything that's going on with the world is I think I still have energy, but it's more like not a good energy, like an anxious anxiety.
Yeah, sympathetic nervous system response.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that one. Okay, that's helpful, you guys. Thank you so much. All right, so let's start back with Microcosmic Orbit. We'll do a couple of rounds of it so that you guys can start to really embody that practice. And we'll start off, let me put you on full screen so I don't have to look at all that other stuff. There we go. Start off in your seated mountain, whether it's on a meditation cushion or, and I'm going to back this up a little bit, or in a chair. Okay, if you're seated in a chair, find that your feet are parallel and hip width apart, your knees are over your ankles. Right, so make all those little micro adjustments, right? When we begin to align the body, we align our minds. So like I'm going to take out, I'm totally leaning forward, so I'm gonna stop that and I'm gonna unarch my lower back as much as it was. And if you're seated on a cushion, you can press the edges of your feet, the outside edges of your feet down. And you may notice the spiral effect of that as it moves up the thighs to the hips and up the spine. You can also do that with your feet on the floor if you're on a chair. And then Master Wu, I love how he says this sometimes. It's almost like your hair can raise up into the sky and lift your skull with it. And then close the earthly doors, right? So that's the pelvic floor. You want to draw that up, also known as Mula Bandha in yoga land. And the crown of the skull is open. All right. And what I highly recommend too is, if you can, is just kind of line up the pelvic floor as we inhale and exhale. Right? Remember, we're drawing in the breath of the trees. So line that up with where your trachea comes down into your lungs and branches off to the right and left. And then line that up with the roof of the mouth and the crown of the skull. Right? This is, you can think of your body as a cathedral. And the light from the heavens passes down through the crown of the skull all the way down to the well of you, the deep, deep well and reserves of you. You can think of it as a cathedral or like a cave where the light shimmers down. All right, and we're going to utilize the Pirion Mudra like we did last time, in which the thumb, pinky, and middle finger come together. Right, and it's almost like a funnel. So we're going to bring this down to the root dantian, which is just below the belly button, and broadening the collarbones, lifting up the sternum. We'll start with 3 breaths here. So inhale, light and energy. Gently hold it, contain it. And then exhale, let it flow into the root of you. And again, inhale. And exhale. You might feel heat building. And again, inhale. And exhale. And then take another inhalation. And then on the exhale, send that light and energy skipping over the back of your spine, over the crown of the skull to your forehead. And you can bring your hands up too. And the thumbs gently touch the third eye. And we'll be here for 3 breaths. Inhaling. So cupping and containing. And then the exhale, the light flows into the upper dantian, which is the spirit and also the heavens. So inhale. Exhale. Inhaling. Exhale. And then inhale, come to the heart, the middle dantian, which is the human and your physical heart. As we inhale, gently hold it. And then exhale, nourish your heart. Inhaling. Exhaling. One more, inhale. Exhale. And we'll do one more circuit. So inhale, come to the to the lower dantian. And if you need to release the breath before I give the prompt, please do. Honor your lungs and your body. But on the exhale, it's like blowing on a flame. And this light and energy can flow into the root of you, into your hips and your thighs. Inhaling. Right, you can think of this as grounding you to the earth as the light moves into the earth, like rooting you. And one more. Inhale. Exhale. Take another inhalation. And then exhale over the back of your spine, over the top of the forehead, bringing the hands up again. Inhale, drawing light. Exhale, perhaps this light begins to flow into your mind and over your eyes, down your throat. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. And exhale. And then inhale to the middle dantian. The hands are about 3 to 4 inches in front of your sternum. And exhale. Inhaling. Exhale. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Really fueling and feeding your heart. And then inhale back to the root. And then exhale, the roots of you getting deeper into the earth. Inhale. And exhale. And again. So for the next 3 breaths, I'm going to encourage you to utilize the mudra and your mind's ability to move energy to wherever you feel that you need it. Yeah. I think I'm going to hang out in the root. Yeah. And it's just an inhale, hold, and exhale for about the same rhythm. It's a box breath. And you're going to do it on your own.
We holding Mulabanda?
Yep. Throughout the whole practice, hold your Earthly doors are closed, heavenly gates open. And one more breath wherever you are. And then we'll just gently peel the fingertips away from each other. And what we do is we turn the hands up to feel the energy of the heavens. So even if it's cloudy out, the light is still falling upon the planet. And then turn the palms down to feel the energy of the earth rising up to meet your hands. And we'll talk about how you can kind of dribble that energy. It's fun. And then bring the hands down to meet the human onto your lap. And really like notice muscle, tissue, bone, the different density, right? Bone is different than muscle, ligament. In the same way that heart is different than liver. It's different forms of consciousness within our body. Like liver knows what liver knows. And then I also can know what liver knows. Yeah. So if you're seated cross-legged, you can extend your legs long, and we'll just kind of talk about that practice for a little bit, because it's important to me that you get it in a way, and that it becomes yours, and you can play with it and utilize it as a diagnostic tool. In the same way, Noga, you remember when we would draw the Om up through our body and be like, oh, my throat chakra is stuck. Let me do this pose, So that's what I mean is you guys can be like, my heart or my mind, and then utilize different practices to attend to yourself and whatever you're experiencing. Right? It's a healing practice. It's a healing art, and you're utilizing the resource of yourself. So for me, and I think Kim, you and we've talked about this before, what begins to happen for me is that all three of them become one, which is basically the central channel, right? But the energy through the earth up through my body, out through the crown of my skull, and it's almost like I become this huge tree, just witnessing. But also in line with the path of the Bodhisattva, being this huge tree that provides shelter and nourishment for others and feeds others, not just through the branches and the fruit, but through the roots. Right. And then there's the inner and outer of that, because the shape of my lungs is like a tree. The alveoli is like a tree. So it's like tree breathing tree. Life breathing life. Anybody have any thoughts or questions? No?
Thank you so much, Gina. I noticed that when I'd started, I didn't have all the correct fingers touching. And just by putting the ring fingers together, which I missed, right?
So it's
totally.
It's thumb, well, it's thumb,
pinky,
and middle finger, and the other fingers don't touch.
Pinky. Okay, so actually then I was doing it right at first time, but it was interesting, halfway through I put the ring fingers together as well.
So what did you notice?
It totally heated everything up. It heated me up, and it also heated my palms up even more.
Yeah.
And it kind of grounded me more.
That's so interesting, Mary, because the ring finger is associated with the liver and with wood element. I mean, Yeah, so that's really interesting. So you kind of naturally did what your body needed. Next week we're going to do Tugu Nashen, which is the organ polishing practice where you're utilizing each finger and its correlation to the organs. But you're naturally kind of doing that anyway. But that's the thing, right? Is you do this practice and you're like, oh, that's so fascinating. Yeah. Because it's the wisdom of the body. The wisdom of the body. Like our body knows. Our body carries millennia of knowledge from all of the people before us, all of our teachers before us. It's in us. All right, so let's kind of stand and we'll do a brief little shake. I think that would be really nice for everybody, and we'll come and do some form, okay? I'm gonna scoot you guys back. If you feel comfortable and that it's appropriate, I recommend being barefoot. I may have to move you guys back even more. Hold on a second. All right. And I'm going to move my yoga mat because I like feeling the floor underneath me. It helps me connect a little bit more to the earth. All right. I'm going to put a little bit of music on. Hopefully you guys will hear it. I'm still messing around with how to get the music from my laptop to play properly through Zoom. All right, so we're going to start off in our mountain pose, which is a little bit different than a yoga mountain pose because yoga mountain is the toes don't grip. In Qigong mountain, the toes grip. Okay. So also what I like to do is smooth down my lower back, lift up my lower ribs, take my hands to my ribs and get them up off my hips, right? A lot of us have a tendency to collapse in the side body. I think forget that we're three-dimensional, literally. And then look down at your feet. If you're not quite sure what they're doing, look at them. Toes should be facing forward. And they can either be together or hip width apart, depending upon kind of the shape of your foot. Put a slight grip in the toes. And the hands are going to be in the Taiji Mudra. So if you identify as female right now in this moment, the left hand comes over the right at the thumb webbing. And the hands are just below the belly button at the lower dantian. Collarbones are broad. Belly button's engaged. Heavenly gate is open. Earthly doors are closed. Okay, and again, just take a moment and kind of line yourself up so that the energy of the earth can rise up through your body and out through the crown of the skull and also down. This is the spiritual needle. As we inhale, And exhale. Inhaling and exhaling. And then inhale. Release the mudra. If you can feel the air on your right palm and your left. Okay, and then I don't know if you guys noticed, but behind me is White Tara. She's very special to me. And White Tara has eyes in each palm and the bottom of each foot and third eye, so 7 eyes. And what I'm going to ask you to consider is to see with your body, and ideally for the benefit of all beings. So inhale, step 1 foot to the right, reach your hands up, reach the right hand into the sky and taste it, and then reach the left hand into the sky and taste it. And again, right hand, left hand. And as you reach your hands into the sky can flow down into you through each joint of your fingers and your wrist, elbow, shoulders, sternum and ribs, all your vertebrae, right hip, left hip, coccyx, into your knees and your ankles and your toes. And inhale, reach up so much that maybe your heels come up off the ground, if possible, and just hold it. And then turn the palms up, arms come shoulder height, slight bend in the elbows, right? Like you're holding the heavens. And then we're gonna bend down. Maybe the heels are still off the floor, and then inhale, jump up and release. I just realized how sore I am from yesterday. And then we just kind of start shaking everything out, right? We're gonna disorganize everything and then reorganize. And I'm gonna take this off. Right, so you can, I mean, I get great joy in kind of like stamping my feet and throwing the tantrum I never let myself throw. Shaking the wrists out. We'll start using the hum sound. Hum. Moving energy through our bodies. Hum. Taking the fingertips and gently tapping on the skull. Noticing the crown of the skull, right? That delicate fontanelle. And really tap it. Notice what color it is. So the top of the skull, sides of the skull. Oh, my music suddenly came on. Interesting. Run your fingertips through your hair. If appropriate, just give a gentle tug to your hair. The hair is interestingly associated with our blood, right? Like teeth is connected to our bones, hair is to our blood. And then I'm gonna tap, so cupping my hands, I'm gonna pat forehead and occiput, sides of the skull, right? Take your hands, draw them down your throat. Notice difference between right and left. This also helps you may notice, like, you know, when we're fighting a cold or the flu or COVID, your glands will get swollen. So check out what's going on. And then also take the 2 fingers, forefinger, middle finger, to the sides of the nose, and then on the inhale to clear the sinuses. And then I like to run my thumb. I don't know about you guys, but my eyesight is getting funky. Not just because I'm getting older, but I think all this screen time. At the end of the day, my eyes are so tired. So you can take the heels of the hands and press them into your eyes and then rotate clockwise and counterclockwise. Do about 9 times. And if you lost count, don't worry about it. Right? Just notice, notice, notice. And then you can also cup your ears, your hand, like cup your ears with your palms and then just pull away. Kind of helps to restore balance and equilibrium. And then we're going to pat through the chest. Notice any chest congestion or muscle tightness. Abdomen, hip press. Front of the legs and back of the legs. Top of the feet. Then come up and do one arm, top of the arm, and then inside. To the other arm. Shoulders. Do you guys ever see those? I know you guys have seen them. Those tall tubes, plastic tubes that are near like the car dealerships, and they're filled with air, and they're like, like just be that guy for a minute. It's like you have no bones. And you can do shoulders even more. Spiraling up from the earth. And hips. Oh, noticing the difference between one and the other. You could do the Elvis. Oh my God, I miss dancing so much with people. All right, and then we're gonna do our tongue and our kidneys and then do a little free flow. So tongue is associated with our heart, yeah? All the muscles in our chest too. So you can just drop your head back. And you can do it even crazier. I love doing it crazy because it's fun, but also because I know my teenagers like, what the heck? And then hands come together, make fire. So the heat of the heart is in the palms. So heat it up and then bring your hands to your lower back, lift the chest, inhale, exhale into your palms. Maybe noticing the difference between right and left. You might have a different like density or color. You do it one more time. Hands come to your lower back, right? On either side of your spine. Inhale and exhale. Okay, and then just take 1 minute to freestyle, moving through your own body. Okay, also remember what we're doing is mapping our body with our hands. And now that all of you guys have eyes in each palm, maybe you'll see a bit more. Right, and remember also, like, this thing, this precious, beautiful thing is how you experience life. It is why you experience life, this life. And then just begin to take it down. 50%. And noticing. 25%. Okay, I highly recommend, I know you're just getting into some of these practices, but I highly recommend closing your eyes if you feel comfortable. And then 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just stop and notice, observe. And then we're going to inhale. Turn the palms up, step the right foot back to the left, draw the hands around. Fingertips face each other. Palms face the earth. And then the hands come back into the Taiji Mudra. And we seal it with the sound. Not unlike the Om. Right? And now we're going to come into horse stance. I want to move some energy and really start to like harness some things and then bring it down. So come into your horse stance. So the horse stance can be like shallow, where the knees are slightly bent, or deep, right? Depending upon what you feel like you need to do for yourself. Again, watching your mind. Getting my hair out of the way. So what we're going to do, this form is called fire. And it's from a series called the Prenatal Form. So watch me and then we'll do it all together, okay? So I'm going to turn my palms up. And I'm going to turn to the side. And it's almost, the way Thomas kind of first shared this with us, it's like you're holding a baby up. All right, so my palms come up and then I press out. The energy is coming from my back foot and out the palms of my hands, okay? And then I inhale, come back to center. And exhale, push. Yeah, so you can see this is very much a martial arts defensive posture, right? You're defending. I want you to connect to the energy of the earth rising up through you and out. So top hand is up, protecting your face, literally. And then the bottom hand is here. That's it. Nice, Kim. Okay, ready? And now inhale back to center. Feeling and reading the air currents with your palms and the back of your hand and your fingers. And then exhale, push. That's it. Nice, Mary. Yeah, so my bottom, see how my elbow is bent a little bit? It's dynamic, where like if we were in a class in 3 dimensions, I would come up and press against each of your palms. So like make it, that's it, make it super dynamic. And then inhale. Exhale. Good, nice nugget. Inhaling. Coming through center. Exhale. Good, nice, Mary. Yeah, and I want you to imagine like I'm literally there pressing against your palms and you are not going to let me push you over at all, right? You are so connected and grounded to the earth, and the fire of your heart is moving through your palms. Inhale, coming back through center. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. That's it. Nice. That looks great. Now get pressing. And you can even extend that back leg. See how my back leg gets straight? Inhaling. Right? So you can think of, the way I like to think of it too is a Dharma protector. And then back through center. Beautiful, everybody. Inhale, reading the currents, right? Reading the situation. Exhale, defending. Right? With the wisdom of the heart. Inhale, back through center. Slowly, slowly. And then exhale. Fire. Beautiful. Let's do 2 more. Inhaling. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. And then inhale, hands come back to center. Palms face the lower dantian, right? Right, and again, you might feel all that heat and energy in your palms. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do cloud hands again. And I think maybe we'll either end with heaven element. So here, my right hand comes up through center and around. So I'm reading the air, and I'm like the rain rising up to the clouds. and falling to the earth again. Yeah, so why don't you guys just, move with me. And now the other hand can get involved. Inhaling and exhaling. Right, this is the rising energy of all things, including you. So last time we played a little bit with what it's like to go through if you're moving through air. Versus water. Right, versus if you really had to push your way through like the soil or the sand or whatever it is, just something thicker. Right, so notice, right, do you want to like flow or have more of a dynamic? Whatever works for your mind body right now. You can even just for one moment play with like moving around. Notice as well that every movement that you're making, right, and this isn't just a metaphor, but you are literally moving molecules of air around you. You're creating eddies and whirlpools and wakes, right? So we know this is fact. Everything we do, think, and say spreads outwards. This is also, if you do this with a partner, it's a beautiful practice to mirror each other. This is also pushing hands in the martial arts form, right? So we're learning to flow. To flow with all of the energy around us and inside of us. And to do so with grace, yeah? Just like the rain. And if you did become the rain, you would nourish all of the beings around you. And just like the rain, you would rise up into the heavens again and down to the earth. So let's slow it down. And pause. That's a fun one, isn't it? I remember very clearly after my sister passed and I was writing her eulogy on my mom's back deck and I was watching a puddle and it was raining. And I remember, sorry, I don't know why all these phone calls are coming through, but I remember very clearly watching the rain fall into the puddle, that our lives, our human lives, are the brief span, the amount of time it takes for a raindrop to fall from a cloud to the earth and back again. Yeah. So it's, what are we doing with this precious life? Ideally also having fun. So we're going to end and we'll pick up again next week with one of my favorite practices. It's a deeply nourishing practice. And it's called looking for the moon in the sea. It's a yin practice. It's a moon practice. So we'll do a little bit of it and then we'll end on the cushion, yeah? And this is being recorded, right? So you guys can always come and access the forms and practice them on your own. So watch me and then we'll do it all together. So my feet are coming back into horse stance. Earthly doors closed. Heavenly gates open. And I'm going to lift my palms up and frame the moon in my hands. And my hands aren't touching, but I'm just making kind of a triangle. And I'm going to allow, here, and I'll show you what it looks like from the side. Like this. So the moon is up there, even though I can't see it right now, it is up there. So I frame the moon in my hands. I allow the light of the moon to fall into my palms as I inhale and exhale. And then I turn my palms to face me so that the light of the moon reflects upon my face. Elbows come together to whatever degree possible, right? As women, this is different than being a guy. And then we're gonna bring our hands down so the light of the moon can nourish my throat, all of my organs. And then I come forward and it's like I'm standing on a body of water, a clear lake. And I trace the reflection of the moon in the water. And I draw the light of the water, the light of that moon and the water element into my body to nourish. And then again. Okay? So we'll do it all together. Couple of rounds. Hands come up. Inhale. Exhale. Right? So just like practicing photosynthesis with the sun, you're doing it with the moon. Allow the light to fall into your palms as we inhale and exhale. Inhale, turn your palms to face you. And really feel that light, that beautiful light, full of grace, fall upon your face and your throat, nourishing your lungs and your heart, liver, spleen, kidneys, intestines. And then come forward. Inhale, trace the light of the moon in the sea. Exhale, pull it into you. And come up again. Frame the moon in your palms. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, turn your palms to face you. nourishing, reflecting. Exhale. And perhaps maybe you can even feel your fingertips get wet as you inhale. And exhale. That's it. Slowly, slowly. Nice, Kim. That's it, Mary. So we'll do one more. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhale. Turn your palms to face you, reflecting. Slowly, slowly nourishing. Exhale. Trace the light of the moon and the sea. Inhale, drawing it into you. Good, and we're just going to pause right here. And then inhale, step the right foot back to the left. Hands come down through the center line again, just like before, fingertips face each other. Right, so we're reading again, we're reading our bodies, we're reading our subtle bodies with our hands, even though we're not touching our bodies. And then hands come back into the Taiji Mudra. And just notice. Notice the quality of mind. And then you can release the mudra. Palms feel the heavens and the earth and the human. Okay. And what I mean by reading, it's like I'm going to encourage you to practice, like when you are outside, hopefully, or inside, and you pass over a tree or a shrub, just like don't even touch it, but just like run your hand above it. Read it, notice it, witness it. And then sometimes too, like touch, this is different than this. Touch, notice. It is, you know, a form of mindfulness because we are noticing non-judgmentally. Also, it's a really nice way to help break the, you know, chattering monkey mind. My chattering monkey mind is named Carlos. So, how do you guys feel? Good? Nice? Mary, you had fun, didn't you? Yeah, good. So I would recommend, you know, because this class is an hour, so I would recommend just putting your body down on the ground and letting it rest and letting it absorb the practices, you know. We did fire. I think it was also because I wanted to move energy through us, but also because a lot of the conversations that we're having, it's so many times we feel like we have no control over anything, right? But we can embody a sense of power. Absolutely. You know. And then cloud hands, it's seeing through wisdom, right? I mean, impermanence. And then I love looking for the moon in the sea. It's such a beautiful practice. We'll come back to it. Please watch it again if you want to look through the form. I did this practice the other day. Thomas, who's my friend and teacher, he was actually sharing the practice too, and it's so interesting. I did the practice, and I had just gotten my period, and the practice made it worse, like so much worse. I was like, oh, that makes sense. I was like drawing moon into me. Right? So just notice, and we'll start building on these. It's my intention, as I said, to like leave you guys with a solid, nice little toolkit. So next week, I think I want to do Tugun Nashen. Beautiful, beautiful seated practice, really nourishing, really, really nourishing. And then the next couple of classes, we're going to focus on learning the 5 elements practice, which is a standing series. Okay?
I had a quick question, Jenna.
Yeah.
When we're in horse, and I'm having 2 like form challenges that I think is just technique. When I'm in horse stance, I'm finding myself ending up with duck butt a lot.
Yeah, that can
Like,
happen.
Is there, what am I, like, is it just being mindful of keeping your tailbone tucked under, or is there something I'm doing that's causing that to happen?
It could be a couple of things. If anybody has to leave, please go ahead. I'm going to stay and answer this question. And if you get, I mean, I'm willing to stay here for like 10 more minutes. So duck butt. What can happen in horse stance, right? So here, like, you wouldn't be able to tell if I'm sticking my butt out too much, except for how my shirt's hanging, yeah? So I'm going to turn to the side. This is common. A lot of people do this. So you want to tuck. So notice what your feet are doing. Sometimes for some people, it's hard to tuck if they're keeping their feet parallel. So they have to turn their feet out a little bit. It depends upon the shape of the head of your femur and how it sits in the hip socket. So play with it, right? Because I don't want you to compress the lumbar vertebrae, right? And then create a lower back issue because you're trying to do horse stance in the way that you think it should be done, right? I mean, that kind of goes against the whole policy of do no harm. Yeah. So notice your foot placement, right? In horse stance, we want to protect our knees, our lower back, but also if you've ridden horses, you know you have to keep the upper body up because otherwise that horse is like, you're out of here, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, I rode for 33 years, so yeah, that makes a lot of
so
sense.
you know, and that's truly the idea, Kim, is that you are on a horse. And what I love about horse stance is your legs get super strong, you know. I would recommend possibly, I do this a lot as a practice, but do a wall sit. Do like a 3-minute wall sit to start to build up that strength so you can hold it. So for you, do like start with a 2-minute wall sit. And maybe we'll do actually one next week to kind of, because as a wall sit as a practice is a beautiful practice because like Noga knows this. We used to do them all the time at the 3 Jewels, but in a wall sit, you're like, oh my God, this sucks. And then you start thinking about something else anyway, right? So you might as well just be there and, you know, practice the art of being comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's like literally the embodied practice of it. So I think we'll start next week with that. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense because I'm really weak, like in my shoulders and my hips and my legs. So I think that's probably it. Is I don't have the strength to hold it, so my body's compensating with my booty.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. It makes sense. We just build up to it, you know? Yeah. Any other questions or thoughts? Noga? And Mary? Mary, why don't you go first since you've unmuted yourself first?
Just a quick question. All of the exhales are through the mouth. None are through the nose?
No, they're through the nose.
Through the nose. Okay, everything's through the nose. Okay.
Yeah, I'm utilizing an ujjayi breath, which is from yoga land, is, you know, you're closing the back of the throat because it heats the body so much more quickly. You know, it's so efficient.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank
Noga?
you.
Sure.
Yeah, that was a really wonderful practice. Thank you. I feel a little
You're
more
welcome.
grounded, and I think I am getting my period, but it actually like I feel good. I feel grounded, and I feel like my hands feel more potent than normal.
Yeah.
My question is, I had many questions, I can't remember, but one is that when we were starting and we were holding Mula Bandha, and kind of scanning, I often like my root chakra area needs healing, and I'm used to like maybe breathing down there when everything's loose, and that felt different. So I don't know if you had anything to.
So you can think about, yeah, so when you're engaging Mula Bandha or the earthly doors, right? That's drawing energy up, right? So for you, if you're thinking of needing some healing energy, so for me, like when I exhale, I'm sending light. Like I have an injury right now. My SI joint and my iliacus muscle are funky because I've been sitting in meditation posture for hours and hours and days and days and days, right? So for me, I was sending that energy there to heal. So inhale, draw it up, contain it, exhale, heal. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, cool. Yeah, definitely. Can I ask one more thing?
Yeah. I'm hanging out.
Okay. Thanks. So, okay, let's, like the energy could be described as the Kundalini energy.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. It's spiraling. Yep.
Yeah, so it gets me I start to feel it, especially after I'm holding for a while.
Right.
I guess I never had any teacher explain to me like what to do about it.
So,
I can make
it
it up
depends.
or I can let it, and if I'm by myself and I let it, it could do wild things.
Oh, sure. I mean, I remember the first time I was, I think I've talked about this, but the first time I was sitting in a yoga class and I was drawing energy up and drawing energy up and, and then all of a sudden I had an orgasm and I was like, did anybody see that? I was like, what the heck? And I mean, now I can do it at will, which makes things really fun. But I talked to my teacher and now she's like, well, I've heard that's not uncommon. She's like, go ask Sharon Salzberg. So I asked Sharon and Sharon's like, I don't know if I'm the right person to talk to, but she's like, go ask Tenzin Gyalgyang, Welyang Rinpoche. He's a Bon Buddhist. And I'm fortunate that these guys were all over New York City. And I was writing an article about clear light awareness. So I said, Rinpoche, I said, I had this experience and this is what happened. And he's like, well, what did it feel like? And I was like, it felt like opening a channel. And he's like, yeah, that's what it was. Like, it's not a big deal. It's like, that's just what it is. Right. And it can feel really like, right. And you don't know what to do with it. But what we're doing is learning how to harness that energy and cultivate it and then direct it. Right? And ideally for the benefit of all beings. That's the point. Right? So healing ourselves, utilizing energy, and then when I am healed and whole, then I am much more useful to other people.
For sure.
And does that make sense?
Yeah, just to clarify, it's not like I can't get myself to orgasm, unfortunately, but you know what I mean? I just start to feel
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, that thing, all that energy. Yeah, it's intense. It's like it's like a lightning rod in a way.
So just continuing the practice with the intention of wherever we're sending the energy.
Moving the energy, because eventually I go like this, I can feel that be like, and you start to really move energy. I wish I had known all of this stuff when I first started fighting. But now I utilize it for myself, also to like re-navigate to purpose, right? my direction and my energy starts going off over there in ways that are not so productive, I'm like, hello, bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. Refocus and like notice and move energy through me. You can do it. I know you can do it, Noga. It's just, and I know it's like, so just, you know, the other thing too is like, I remember talking to Master Wu about some of the experiences I had in meditation, and he's like, just observe. That's the practice. Observe, 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 observe. Yeah. But we
Thank you
are
so much, Gina.
You're welcome. You're welcome. We're so powerful. And look at this Sangha. Amazing. I will see you guys next week. And so much. Thank you so much. Really joyful, fun.
Thank you. This was fabulous.
Yeah. Oh, you're welcome. My pleasure. And if you have any questions at all, you can always send me email, text, or something. You guys know how to find me. All right.
Have a good day.